Fossils are nice and they tell us the story of life on Earth, but some fossils are very, very important indeed. Some of the dust type fossils, the microfossils, are used particularly in the oil industry to know that they're in the presence of oil-bearing rocks. The way they do that is to look for specific fossils that can be easily identified, that are indicators of a moment in time. We call them, if you like, zone fossils. They give you a specific period of time when this animal, this one specific creature, lived and died very quickly. But there's slightly more to it than that, because for an animal to be useful to date rocks, say here in Dudley or over in America or down in Japan, then they need to have been a life form that spread around the world. And on the whole, that is usually creatures that lived in the sea and swam around the oceans of the world, and their remains then settle in the mud of the oceans, but they live and die in a very short time frame. And so we can then use the presence of that fossil to compare the age of the rocks here and in America and all around the world. Those things give us that marker in time. They came and they went in a moment geologically, and then they become very useful to us. The ammonites are a very good example of a group of animals whose individual types lived and died very quickly. And so by finding a specific species or type of these, we can be very, very certain of a moment in time, wherever in this world you find that particular species. The same is true of other groups of fossils, trilobites to some extent, but microfossils tend to be very good at living and dying in short periods and being carried by the currents of the oceans. So the oil industry in particular uses tiny little microfossils to understand where it is and where the oil may be. So they may be just pretty fossils, but they can be important for providing the energy for all of us.